Few people in the world know that there is such country as Turkmenistan, and even fewer know what life is like there. It is surprising because the nation has always been at the crossroads of civilizations and an important stop on the Silk Road, a caravan route for trade with China. It has thrived ever since and is now seeking to restore its role as an economic hub with a new airport, major industrial facilities, sports venues and tourist attractions. Few know that, unlike many other countries, Turkmenistan chose a policy of neutrality, religious and ethnic tolerance. It is even more important because they used to be known as fearsome warriors in the past.
Turkmenistan believes that this General Assembly session's role is to help overcome this crisis of confidence and to strengthen mutual understanding among member states. In this regard, Turkmenistan is putting forward an initiative to have 2019 as the year of peace and trust. Our initiative envisages developing specific measures to reduce tensions, to promote the political and diplomatic resolution of disputes and disagreements, and to adopt here responsible and balanced decisions.
This monument to neutrality was installed to remind the Turkmen people of their lifelong commitment. On December the 12th, 1995, the United Nations General Assembly passed Resolution 5080, supported by 185 member states. Today, it is the only country in the world that has been recognized by the United Nations as having a permanent neutral status. Turkmenistan now has diplomatic relations with 132 countries, and the day it submitted its declaration of neutrality has officially been announced by the United Nations as the International Day of Neutrality. It has an important place in the country's constitution. The Neutrality Day of Turkmenistan is the second most important state holiday. Turkmenistan has been active in promoting peace and stability in the region, both economically and politically. For example, it works together with its neighbors on the construction of the Tapi pipeline that would bring Turkmen natural gas, a cheap and environmentally friendly source of energy, to Afghanistan, Pakistan and India. It also plays a major role in assisting Afghanistan on its path towards a more sustainable stability. It provides aid and helps to build mosques.
Combating drugs trafficking and comprehensive economic support for Afghanistan are no less important issues in terms of promoting security and stable development. In this regard, we believe that it is crucially important to involve Afghanistan in implementing major energy, transport and communications projects, and this as a fully fledged partner.
It has good neighborly relations with Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and has been key in fostering better relationships between other nations. It has been an important partner for Russia too. The leaders enjoy a very personal relationship. Last year, Russian President Vladimir Putin received a puppy as a present from his Turkmen counterpart. Mr. Berdimuhamedov, you are known in Russia as a consistent supporter of the closest possible strategic partnership between Russia and Turkmenistan. Our bilateral cooperation is developing on the solid foundation of friendship and mutual understanding, on the principles of equality and respect for each other's interests, largely owing to your efforts. The two countries have extensive cooperation not just in politics, but also in the economy, industry, education, science and culture. Turkmenistan also promotes the Russian language and supports Russian-speaking schools like the Pushkin School in the capital. Russia and Turkmenistan have been working together to ensure security in Asia. We pointed to Russia's regional importance as a major component of strategic stability in Eurasia, where large-scale energy, transport and environmental projects of global significance are being implemented. Turkmenistan has always upheld and will continue to uphold Russia's visions. The recent exchange of state orders speaks volumes about the level of partnership between the two nations. This visit has confirmed that the Russian Federation is our reliable friend and a responsible and honest partner. Turkmenistan has played a major role behind the Convention on the Legal Status of the Caspian Sea, signed in August 2018, that littoral nations have been negotiating for 22 years.
The signing on the August the 12th this year of the Convention on the Legal Status of the Caspian Sea by heads of Caspian Sea states paves the way for transforming the Caspian Sea region into a strategic transport, transit and energy hub of international importance, as well as an area for broad investment, trade and economic activity and cooperation.
Turkmenistan participates in projects implemented jointly by Counter-Terrorism Implementation Task Force of the United Nations Counter-Terrorism Center. These efforts have been recognized by the United Nations, and it established its Regional Center for Preventive Diplomacy for Central Asia in the capital city of Ashgabat in 2007. Turkmenistan has chosen sports as an avenue to promote peace and friendship. The United Nations expressed gratitude to the government of Turkmenistan for the participation of refugees in the 5th Asian Indoor and Martial Arts Games in Ashgabat last year. It means that Turkmenistan welcomes all people regardless of their nationality or faith. This area has been populated from early on. The remains of farming settlements in the Kopet Dağ Mountains date back 8,000 years. Historically inhabited by the Indo-Iranians, it has been part of many empires. By the 6th century BC, the powerful Persian Empire had established the provinces of Parthia and Margiana. From their base, south of the Kopet Dağ range, the Persians controlled trade through Central Asia. In the 4th century BC, the Persian Empire was defeated by the army of Alexander the Great. In 330 BC, Alexander marched northward into Central Asia and founded the city of Alexandria near the Murghab River. Located on an important trade route, Alexandria later became the city of Merv, modern Mari. The Scythians, fierce, nomadic warriors from the north, then established the kingdom of Parthia, which covered present-day Turkmenistan and Iran. The Parthian kings ruled their domain from the ancient city of Nisa. Merchants, traders and missionaries introduced the religions of Buddhism and Zoroastrianism to the region. Central Asia came under Arab control after a series of invasions in the late 7th and early 8th centuries. Meanwhile, the Oghuz, the ancestors of the Turkmen, migrated from Eastern Asia into Central Asia, the Middle East and Asia Minor, modern Turkey. By the 11th century, the Oghuz pushed to the south and west, and the Arabs were retreating from Turkmenistan. In 1040, the Seljuk clan of the Oghuz tribe established the Seljuk Empire with its capital at Merv. At one point, the Seljuk realm stretched all the way to Baghdad. Other Oghuz groups moved west across the Caspian Sea, settling in Azerbaijan and in Asia Minor, where they joined the Seljuk tribes in establishing the Ottoman Empire. After mixing with the settled people in Turkmenistan, The Oghuz living north of the Kapıdak Mountains gradually became known as the Turkmen. Most of Turkmenistan's citizens today are ethnic Turkmens, but there are also sizable minorities of Uzbeks and Russians. The Russian language is used very widely. You can also find Kazakhs, Tatars, Armenians, Azeris, Baluchis and Pashtuns. According to the constitution, it is a secular state where everyone can freely preach their religion. The document guarantees the separation of church and state. Turkmenistan also passed a law on religious freedoms in 2016 to reinforce that tradition. Muslims constitute around 90% of the population. Despite strong ties between Islam and national identity, the society historically has been tolerant and inclusive of different religious beliefs. For example, in the early part of the 20th century, Ashgabat was a refuge for the Baha'i faith, escaping persecution in Iran, and a Baha'i temple was built in Ashgabat at that time. Islam began spreading with the arrival of Arabs and quickly replaced Zoroastrianism. Most of the local Ummah are Sunni Muslims. The border areas near Iran are home to Shia Muslims of Iranian, Azeri or Kurd origin. The government helps to build large monumental mosques, such as the ones in Ashgabat, Göktepe and Gipyak, and local communities support village mosques. The most recent mosque, Hazreti Omar, was built in a new district of Ashgabat. During the Soviet era, there were only 4 mosques operating. Now there are approximately 350. Historically, Islam was integrated into the Turkmen tribal structure through the holy tribes known as Ovlet. The Ovlet tribes adopted certain Sufi practices while maintaining ancestor worship. Members of one of the 6 Ovlet tribes are often called upon to be present at various life cycle events, birth, marriage, death, in order to confer blessings and mediate conflicts. Locals mark Kurban Bayram, or Eid al-Adha, a 3-day holiday commemorating the end of the Hajj, and Araza Bayram, Eid al-Fitr, commemorating the end of Ramadan, the Muslim month of fasting. The chairman of the Council on Religious Affairs, the Imam of the Göktepe Mosque, serves with 3 deputy chairmen, a government representative, the Mufti of Turkmenistan, and a representative of the Russian Orthodox Church. Local Muslims believe Islam has always respected other religions. Ashgabat resident Samir Aliyev explains why. Islam is the only non-Christian religion which says you have to believe in Jesus Christ and His Blessed Mother, the Virgin Mary, in His second coming and His kingdom on earth. Samir is adamant the 2 religions are much closer than people usually think. According to the Quran, God told the Prophet, "And nearest among them in love to the believers will you find those who say, 'We are Christians, we are very close.' And the Prophet himself used to say, 'We stand shoulder to shoulder with Christians, because between me and Jesus Christ there have been no other prophets.' Christianity and Islam are the 2 closest religions. We have to respect all people of the book." Christianity was a strong element in neighboring Khwarezm province. Later, Russians revived Orthodox traditions once again. Today, around 450,000 people, or 8% of the population, consider themselves Orthodox Christians. The Orthodox Church here is under the jurisdiction of the Russian Orthodox Archbishop in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. There are 12 churches in the country, 3 in Ashgabat, 2 in Turkmenabad and also in Mari, Turkmenbashi, Balkanabad, Bayram Ali and Dushaguze. The highest Russian Orthodox priest in Turkmenistan is based in Ashgabat. There is also one Russian Orthodox monastery in Ashgabat. A very small community of ethnic Germans, most of whom live in and around the city of Seracs, are reportedly practicing Lutherans. The Roman Catholic community in Ashgabat meets in the chapel of the Vatican Nunciature. It is a very brief introduction of Turkmenistan, but we hope it gives you a clear idea of its values. Hopefully, Turkmenistan continues to stay as peace-loving, tolerant and neutral going forward. Sag Balun, thank you.